Hello, everybody. Welcome to the second week of ORG 4451, Organizational Behaviors. Okay, now we can talk about this chapter 3 and chapter 4 of your book about the individual values, perceptions, and reactions, and also about the individual characteristics. Hi, Erica. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm a little waiting for other people because everybody is hybrid in this class. Nobody is online. And I was surprised last week that nobody was in the class because the absent attendance will destroy the final grade. Have you studied anything in this week about your course or no? You didn't have any time for study.
What?
Sorry, T. What'd you say?
I didn't hear the question.
Have you had any time in the previous week to study your course or not? About the chapter 1 or chapter 2?
No, I haven't had a chance to do this yet.
So study week by week, because finally it needs a lot of time. Week by week is little by little, chapter by chapter. But for the midterm, in the week 4 and the final final exam in the week 8, it will be a huge amount of content. It's so hard to review and master about it. Only pass the question, it's not valuable. Because this is one of your greatest fundamental courses you are passing. It's very important. If you don't know these fundamentals of organization and business, you cannot do it anything. Sometimes it seems that these are not so practical. It's theoretical. Yes, it's about your mindset. If you don't have any good mindset about your organization in the future, you cannot be a good manager or a good leader. Also everything. So I'm a leader waiting for other people until 10 minutes. After 3 minutes, we will begin our course. Please check your cell phone that see have you received any SMS from me about this class? I sent
Yeah,
her.
I just got
Have you
it.
received it? Okay, thank you. We can start the session now about the individual characteristic. What's the meaning of individual characteristic for you, Erica? How do you think about the individual characteristic? What does it mean?
What is individual characteristics?
Yeah.
Um,
Is there any characteristic which are not individual? For example, can we have something like social characteristic, group characteristic, team characteristic, or no? All types of characteristics are always individual characteristics. How do you think?
I think that I think that everyone has individual characteristics, but a lot of people have some like similar characteristics with other people. But I guess they're all individual because I don't know, everyone's different, I guess. So it just depends.
Depends to what?
I guess the other characteristics that they have.
Now, for example, the emphasis of the individual characteristics based on the individual differences. It is more important in individual characteristics. No, individual similarities. Similarities is not individual. When you are talking about the similarities, you are talking about a lot of people. It is not individual. It is, for example, group features or team features or social features, social traits sometimes. Do you think individual characteristic is related to the individual differences, even or not?
Do I think they're what?
It is related to the individual differences. Is individual characteristic the same individual differences or not? Hi, Joey, welcome.
I think so.
It's the same individual characteristic because of individualization is related to the differences between you and other people. So the focal point, the emphasis is on the differences, not in the similarities. Similarity is not about the individual. Yes, we have some characteristics which are so similar between a lot of people, but they are not called individual. They are called similarities. Okay. Thanks for sharing and contribution, discussion. Okay. In this chapter, we talk about these learning objectives, explain the nature of individual differences, the concept of fit, and the role of realistic job preview, very important. Define personality and describe general personality frameworks and attributes that affect behavior in organizations. We have two parts, personality frameworks and personality attributes, personality traits. Identify and discuss other important personality traits that affect behavior in organization. In this chapter, we are looking for to find the major individual characteristic, individual traits, personality traits that are so important in the interaction between the co-workers and the organization as a whole being, a whole integral being, not only one person, two person, a manager, a mid-level manager, or for example, a simple worker. No, we look at the organization as a whole integral being. And some components, some elements of this whole integral being are people, are co-workers, individual people, not group organization, not group beings like a department, teams, groups, and other parts of organization. This interaction is the topic of discussion in this session. Discuss different kinds of intelligence, very important, that affect behavior in organization, and describe different learning styles that influence how people process information and that affect in the organization. So we have personality frameworks, personality traits, intelligence, and learning styles. In this chapter, you have 3 focal points to study, to discuss about the relationship between the co-workers and the organization. 1, personality. 2, intelligence. 3, learning style. It's a very important question, especially in what part of an organization person job fit is very important. Job matching assessment, do you think where is the most important location, most important and most effective point for person job fit or job matching? How do you think? Where should you use this concept, person job fit or job matching? In job improvement, in firing some people, in hiring some people, no, in management, which is the most important point for using job matching? Job matching is mean who is matched for this type of job. For example, which personality is matched, for example, for coordinator, which person is matched for operator, which for match is, for example, human resources. Know which personality type is so matched, for example, for higher ranking or upgrade management. Where can we use the best, the process of job matching, person job fits?
I think you could use it in like hiring people.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. Good job. The starting point. At first, you should know the needs of your organization, which organizational positions are empty on your organization. You need some other people to come and fill that positions. It's very simple. But you will have some interview and some assessments, some tests, some inquiries, some questionnaires. And based on the content of this question and your interview and your observation, and sometimes, not always, sometimes in very, very sensitive organization, for example, some parts like CIA, like FBI, like intelligence agencies all around the world, in addition to observation, in addition to questionnaires, we have some mental health status exam or mental illness status exam. It is very sensitive, not regular. For some very sensitive organization like intelligence organization, intelligence agency all around the world. But regularly in regular organizations, we have some parts. 1, interview. 2, some questions, some interview, some inquiries, some tests about the personality, about the intelligence, about the problem solving skills and other parts. And now we have some battery of tests only for personality type and job matching. For example, DISC, DISC is very important here. And very old, but very important. Or MBTI, Myers-Briggs, is very important and very regular. These are job matching tests. Also, sometimes we, as a psychologist, can use these personality type matching using for premarital counseling. With this test, we can say, yes, this type of personality is matched with that type of personality. How can we find the matching based upon the research? How can we define the type of personality you have in this matching process by the test, for example, by DISC or by MBTI? So person job fit or person job matching is the first step in an organization. Who is profit, who is fit for a specific location in a company. The extent to which the contributions made by the individual match the inducements offered by the organization. It is a very, very short, clear, and sharp definition of person job fit. The extent to which the contributions made by the individual match the inducements offered by the organization. What are the keywords?
Contributions.
One, contribution. Two, contribution about the individuals. What is about the organization? Contribution and inducements. Contribution from individuals, inducement from organization. And second, very, 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 very important word is here, the same meaning of the fit. It is match. So job matching process or person job fit is the process of matching between contribution and inducement. It's very, very, very short, only as the golden keyword in your mind. Matching between the contribution and inducement, contribution of individual, inducement of organization. Other parts is about the extension of the sentence, the extent to which the contributions made by individual match the inducement offered by the organization. Some contribution you make, some inducement they offer. What is the best process? The first process is the matching process. Individual differences. The first and the greatest part of psychology, not psychotherapy. The best and the first part of psychology began with individual differences about 140 years ago. About the individual differences. The first question or the first interviews about why people are different from each other. It is a very basic, very, very basic question. And now in these days, after about that 150 years from the age and from the birth of scientific psychology, psychology as a science, psychology and academic field, after this time, it is now again and again and again a living question, a living question. It's very interesting. For example, look at the presidential election process in America. You don't have any scientific presidential fitting process, matching process. It is only about the democracy. You cannot see that this person is matched with that inducement, that position. No, everybody said he or she is good, perfect. It is about the democracy. But who is eligible to say, yes, this gentleman or this lady is matched with that position as a president? Why? Because a lot of people doesn't have any good knowledge about these details. You are now in the course of bachelor degree of business or management and other parts. And sometimes you are forced to take the courses, I know. But before Joy come to class, I was talking to Erica that it is very important to know these details, theories, very, very important. The major difference between you and other people out of the academy, that they are managerial, experimental, and experiential managers or leader, and you is about this analysis. And this analysis needs your analytical mind. With which concept? With these concepts. Question. For finding the best and the novel ideas, you should know how to question about everything. Everything. If you can have a good question, you will find a good new answer. That new answer is your new idea. Welcome to entrepreneurship world. Without having any good idea, you cannot be entrepreneur. What type of entrepreneur you are when you don't have any good idea, good new idea. And what about the new idea? It is about the good answer. What about the good answer? It's about the good questions. What about the good question about your mind? How much your brain think sharp, critical, creative. Sharp, critical, creative. Sharp about the finding, critical about the questioning, and creative about the finding and sometimes making the answer. Those made answer by you are your idea. Those are the major part, the core of your entrepreneurship. Good question, good observation, sharpening, good question, critical thinking, and good finding, creative thinking. So individual differences here, personal attributes that vary from one person to another. Two keywords, individual, personal differences, attributes. Other types of fit. One, person group fit, the extent to which an individual fits with the work groups and supervisor work styles, skills, and goals. It is something like the person organizational fit or person organization, the fit between an individual's values, beliefs, and personality and values, norms, and culture of the organization. Something you have in individual is values, beliefs, and personality. The personality in an individual is the norms in an organization. Norms are the personality of an organization. Both of them have the culture. We have personal culture, social culture, and organizational culture. Both of them have values. We have personal values, social values, organizational values. But personality in a person equals to norms in an organization. Relatively fixed styles of behavior, thinking, and feeling in one person is his or her personality. Relatively fixed set of values, thinking, behaviors, and feelings in one person is his or her personality. Relatively persistent and relatively consistent, not always. It's false belief about the personality that the personality they will never change. Yes, it will change, but it's very hard. It's very resistant to change, very resistant. It's able, but not easy. Because of that, in mental disorders, one cluster, one categorization of mental disorders, which are so resistant to change are personality disorders, so-called PDs, personality disorder. For example, narcissistic personality disorder, histrionic personality disorder, paranoid personality disorder, or schizoid personality disorder, obsessive compulsive personality disorder, aggressive, passive aggressive, and other parts of, we have near 10 to 12 personality disorders that they are so resistant to change. They can change, but it's very hard, very hard. And person vocation fit. The fit between a person's interests, abilities, and personality and profession. This is something else. It's between you and you. Sometimes it is called me conflict. Me conflict. This is the conflict between me and me and myself. It is intrapersonal conflict, not interpersonal conflict. Do you know what is the difference between inter and intra? We have internet and intranet. We have interpersonal and intrapersonal. Do you know what are the differences between interpersonal and intrapersonal in their meaning? Okay. Inter is meant between two external parts. When you say interpersonal, it is meant that you have some relationship with other people, interpersonal, between you and some people, other outside of yourself. And intra, it is meant inside, the relationship between you and yourself, your feelings, your emotions, your thinkings, your values, your belief system, and other parts. It is intrapersonal, the relationship between you and you. For example, when you say internet, it is about the net. What is the meaning of www? World Wide Web. www. It is a net about all the countries, a country with other country. It is internet. But some countries, like China, like my country, Iran, in addition to internet, they have intranet. Intranet is the net especially for that country. You cannot go from intranet to internet. Why? Because it is located, it is specialized, it is focused on that country. It is internal part. So intra, prefix of intra is meant inter. Prefix of inter is meant outside. Intra is meant inside. Inter is meant outside. Interpersonal, intrapersonal. Personal vocation is something meaning of intrapersonal. The person between you and you. The fit between a person's interests, abilities, values, and personality and a profession. For example, think that Joy wants to be a tailor in the future, not a manager. And we think that, so a doctor, a physician, a nurse. And Joy said, sorry, I need a speed in my life. I want to develop and improve my business life so rapidly. For busyness in medicine, I should at least educate at least 10 years, at least, at the best scenario. And I don't have any patience here for this long time, for business in medicine. For the first step, after 10 years, I will be a general physician, GP, or 7 years, 8 years. If the personality of Joy is not about so long-term patience, it's not good. It's a good idea. Why not? It's not good for Joy. Not bad, not good. It is not match. It is not fit. It is called personal vocation. Between yourself, your proficiency, your contribution, do you want to have, and other parts of yourself, your values, your personality types, your interests, your abilities, your profession, and. Other parts with a profession. Am I good for this type of profession? For example, I had a very good speaking skill from the age of 8, I remember, in my mother language. And everybody said, wow, such a polite, talkative boy he is, from age of 8. Okay, I know a lot of poetry, a lot of literature in my language, a lot of. Because of that, I'm a public figure as a, for example, motivational speaker in my country. Is it fit? Yes. The proficiency of motivations, of analysis, of lecture, of speaking, of therapy, verbal therapy, not, for example, like surgery. It is something working with the mind of other people. It is good for this gentleman? Yes, why not? Because one of the greatest abilities, modern-born greatest abilities, or no, very early age onset, very early age, about preschool. Okay, why not? It's a good match. But this gentleman that you know as your instructor is a full stupid man in engineering jobs. Full stupid. I cannot do anything in technical procedures. Now I know a lot of people that cannot be a good motivational speaker, that cannot be a good therapist. I know everybody is in its matched position is good. There is no good position, no bad position. It is about the matched position and mismatched position. It is something like marriage. We don't have anything so-called good marriage or bad marriage, sad marriage or happy marriage. We have matched marriage and mismatched marriage. Or you are matched together, you are not matched together. It is about the personality type at first. And after that, it's about the socioeconomic and culture base and age and educational level, emotional congruency and sexual nature. But the first, it is about your personality congruence, personality match traits. It is something like this that you are studying now. So at first, between you and a group, second, between you and an organization, second, between you and yourself, between you and your desired profession. It is very important, especially at your age, that you are at the starting point of your future, business future. If you choose a job, if you choose a profession, that it is not so matched with your personality. In positive psychology, I read a study between the talent and the interest. The finding were very interesting. It says that your talent is not matched with your interest. More hard work you do, the more frustration you will experience. When your interest is not at the same page of the your talent, your abilities. The more you work, the more you will feel frustration, not improvement. You will not be happy because you work hard and hard and hard and you don't receive and you don't gain anything. Why? Because you are not talented. You don't have any mother born ability in that area. Vice versa, when you work in something that you say, wow, it's so easy for me to improve in this field. It's your road. It is your magical road. It is the road that will reach you to your dreams. Paulo Coelho, one of the greatest authors in the world, says, every road is a magical road. When this road will reach you to your dreams. So based on your mother born or after burning early onset developed traits in yourself, you can work on those features. Why? Because you have those features by default. But work on them. The problem is that people don't want to work on themselves and they want to be developed. It's impossible. Your position may be developed, yes. Your money may be developed, yes. Your social class may be developed, yes. Your economic status, your educational, everything will be improved, but not yourself. Why? Because you are the workers, the simple workers of your not matched abilities. And at the end of the road, you will not be happy and satisfied. Realistic job previews, or RJPs, present both positive and potentially negative information to job candidates. Realistic job preview. Note that it is about positive information, but potentially negative information, not realistic. About the probability, not about the possibility. It is about the probability of negative information, potential negative information to job candidates. Goal is not to deter candidates, but to provide accurate information about job and organization. Not exaggerated information, not very simplified organization. Very accurate and realistic information about the job and organization. Build trust. You don't want to deceive other people. You don't want to do it. You want to work with them in the future, not intimate working. The function of job is not intimacy. The job of job is making money. The job of job is making money. But the job of career is development. This is the difference between job and career. Career is something that you are doing outside of your work times. It's your personality, is something that you want to grow. You have a sense of belongingness to your career. The job of the career is self-improvement, it's organizational improvement. What the job is making money. So when you say potential and negative information to the candidates of the job, you will build trust. A lot of times you will not receive and you will not find the match person for the job. You need to have a person, new person. But those person in interview, after that will be your trustable relationships, will be your trustable friends, will be your trustable acquaintance in other parts of the world. They don't work with you, but they work for you in other jobs. It's a good, why not? Honesty is the best policy. It is not a motto, it's not a slogan. I wish you will have all you have, some good higher ranking of management in the future. When you go to the higher ranking of management, you see that honesty is best policy. So it is very complicated if you don't want to be honest. It is very complicated. Naturally, it is very complicated. When you are honest, it is very complicated. Besides that, you want to hide some things and say lie and other things. It is not complicated. It is out of your hand. You cannot control your management system. Because of that, honesty is the best policy. Reduce turnover. One of the greatest problems in the organization is about the turnover rate. If your future job will be, for example, an executive coach, one of the greatest problems that the organization will talk to you about that will their turnover rate. Coming new persons, running and turning and training and other times that the organization will spend for them to receive them, to make them as an eligible employee for the organization. And after that, they say goodbye to organization and go out and working for another organization. A lot of wasting of time and effort and money, a lot of waste of time and effort and money. It's so bad for an organization, the higher rate of turnover. So when you say at a realistic job preview, you say the personality and the negative information, reduce turnover, especially from employee who quit because the job was not what they expected. Why not? If you cannot work with us, it's a good point, a starting point for us and for you also to know that, okay, you are good, I am good. You are okay, I am okay. But we are not good for each other. We are not fit to each other. We are not appropriate to each other. Especially in an organization, especially when you are spending time, money, and effort for your employees. It's very important. Because of that, reduce turnover. Yes. Also reduce the candidate, also reduce the available candidate. I know, but they are only candidates. After going through this process, they will be our employee, they will be our co-workers, they will be our partners in the future. At first, you are screening who is fit, who is not fit, who is matched, who is not matched. Because of that, turnover rate will reduce, especially from employees who quit because the job was not what they expected. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God. In the beginning was an individual was personality. You cannot talk about a person after age of 18 except of talking about his or her personality. We have three parts: childhood, adolescence, and adulthood. Before adulthood, yes, personality is shaping or is being shaped. But after that, you have a relatively consistent and persistent personality. So when you want to talk about the individuals that work with you, you should talk about the personality. It is very, very important. It is very important. One of the greatest and one of the first question in industrial and organizational psychology was about the personality. One of the first questions. We have a very specific moneymaker, good field in psychology with the title of industrial and organizational psychology, and also business psychology. Very moneymaker and very good and very deep, because they don't look at the person as an individual. This is something like social psychology. We see other people in the context of their organization. You are not you. You are always a member of your society. You are always a member of your organization. If you are angry at your job, you will not have a good relationship with your boyfriend, with your girlfriend, with your spouse, with your family members. If you don't have any good relationship with you are not satisfied with yourself. If you are not satisfied with yourself, you are always angry and again and again and again. So looking people at three parts: at their content, what they are doing, at their form, how they are doing, and at their context, why they are doing. These are the three major questions you should ask yourself when you want to analyze other people's behaviors. What are they doing? How are they doing? And why are they doing? Why are they doing is about the context. The first question, what are they doing, is about the content of the behavior, or content of their thinking, or content of their feeling. We can say, what are they doing, what are they thinking, and what are they feeling? It is about the content. How are they doing, how are they feeling, how are they thinking? It is about the form. How they think. Are they think rational? Are they think emotional? Are they, for example, feeling something good? Are they feeling something bad? Or are they doing something effective, or are they doing something ineffective? If it's about the actions, behaviors, and emotions. The second part is form. And the third part is about the context. Why are they doing such things? Why are they thinking like this? Why are they acting like this? Why are they feeling like this? These are the three major and basic questions you should ask about yourself also, especially about yourself. These parts are about the personality. Personality is the context of your life. Personality dictates you why you are doing something. It's the smell of taste. What is personality? The relatively stable set of psychological attributes that distinguish one person from another. Say me, what are the keywords in the definition of personality? Which is the first word associated to your mind when I say personality? Erica, what is the first word I associate to your mind when I say personality? First word. Don't think. What?
Psychological.
Second. Joy, what is the first word associated to your mind when I say personality?
The first thing that comes to my mind is the way you are.
Well, the way you are,
Mhm.
or psychological. For me is objective. For me is attributes. Fixed attributes in different positions. It is personality. Also, your answer is correct. Erica is about psychological. The first word. There is a good test in psychology, so-called word association test. It is very old test, very, very old test. About, I think, 100 years. You can look at it. 180 years, since 8 years, we have this test. It is word association test by Carl Gustav Jung. It's very important and very easy to do. And it shows your hidden parts of your personality. Very some words, and the first word, without thinking, associate to your mind. A lot of people say, when I say personality, they say fixed features. And the scientific definition of personality is something at the same page of the things that are associated to your mind. A relatively stable set, so stable, two attributes, three distinguish. These are the keywords. But we have a word here which is very, very game changer, which is very, very door opener. It is about relatively, not persistently. It is relatively stable. It's very door opener, very game changer. Why? Because a lot of people think that, wow, such a garbage personality traits I have. What should I do with his personality traits? You can change it. It is possible? Yes. It is simple? Also, yes. It is easy? Sorry, it is not easy. It's possible and simple. It's not complicated. It's simple. But not easy. What does it mean between the easy and simple? It's simple because the component of personality can be distinguished by a professional in this field and help you to know your personality traits and change it. It is simple, not complicated. But it is not easy. Why? Because human beings are change resistant. Why? Because changing is saying goodbye to your past history, not to your life. It's your past history. You should know and act in new ways. Knowing the new ways and acting on new ways. It is the not easy parts. So it is simple. In some range, yes. It is possible. Absolutely, it is possible. But it is not easy. One thing I want to say to you, because you are young and you are at the beginning stages of your marital life, business life, it's a good point that you are now at. It's very good. Between the age of 20 and 30, it's very good point. Every age you have. Don't place your wishes, your desire, don't place them on the basis of to be easy. The people who want to do easy things, they will never be so influencing on other people, so successful. And honestly, I want to say they will not be so happy. Easy things are cheap things, are not so expensive things, are not so valuable things. Because of that, they are easy. Because of that, a lot of people want to do them. Why? Because naturally people don't want, naturally, it is about the nature of human being. As a mammal, not as a human being. We are from the species of mammals. We are mammals. We are animals. What type of animals? We are mammal animals. Yes. As mammals, mammals don't like to work hard. Lions don't work so hard. Cats don't work so hard. Even you see sometimes horses and dogs work hard because they are pets. You go to the nature and see the white horses, to see the white dogs. They don't work hard. Why your horse or your pet sometimes work hard? Because they are trained for this. Generally, we don't like to work hard. And because of that, we generally use easy things to do. Easy things are not valuable. If you want to be different, at first you should look for hard things, hard working, hard personality. I don't know. I don't want to say hard feeling, but sometimes yes. For example, courage is a hard feeling. It is not easy to be courage. Honesty is a hard feeling, very, very hard feeling. You can go to the internet and search for this phrase, character, strengths, and virtues. It is a very, very specific academic field in positive psychology. Character, strengths, and virtues. Go to internet and after the class, look for the character, strengths, and virtues. We have 6 humanistic virtues. The book is about 900 pages. 900 pages, yeah. This is a very scientific, academic book, so-called characteristics and virtues. We have 6 major virtues in people, in human being, and under categorization, we have 24 strengths. One of them is, for example, courage. Courage as a virtue in human beings. Courage has 4 strengths: bravery, zest, persistence, and honesty. All 4 things are very hard. It is very hard to be brave. It is very hard to be honest. It is very hard to be always persistent. We have a lot of procrastination in our life. And it is very hard to keep your vitality, your zest in all aspects of your life. Because of that, people choose to be depressed, People choose to be angry. People choose to be numb. Why? Because these are very easy, not because these are very effective. In other mammals, yes, if you are aggressive, your chance of survival will increase. Yes, it is approved scientifically. But in other mammals, you are not cat, you are not dog, you are not monkeys, you are chimpanzees, you are a human being, Homo sapiens. Homo sapiens or Homo sapiens is very important part of the nature. So please focus on the hard things. If you want to have an easy life is not a valuable life. Sorry, it's not related to me, it's related to nature, related to God. But I, as your instructor, and with a lot of different experiences in different parts, I have a Bachelor of Nursing and 10 years working with mental people, mental hospital as a nurse, not as a psychologist. And after that, I work in clinical psychology. Before that, when I was 15, I had an experience on war in my country, and also some studies involved in engineering and other parts. And now I am with you in an MBA and DBA university as a faculty with a PhD of psychology and other parts. After these different approaches in life, very, very different experiences, I found in practice, yes, I had it on my knowledge, but I didn't understand because knowledge is different between your attributes. When you accept and experience your knowledge, that part of knowledge is called attitude. It is not your attitude. Before that, you know that what is organization and what is organizational behavior. It is your knowledge. If you want, for example, the grade A, 1,000 from 1,000, out of 1,000, perfect. But when you go to job and you will be a manager and you think, why? What is the usefulness of those garbage theories I read about the organizational behavior? You think they are garbage because you cannot find the usage, the consumption of those theories in your daily life. If you find those theories in your daily life or managerial experiences, these are not garbage. These are very, very perfect theories. It's related to you, not related to the theory. Okay, let's go to the other parts. The Big 5 personality traits. It is one of the greatest and most famous. Yeah, it's here. Sorry, here. It is one of the most famous personality traits tests in the world. Big 5. The abbreviation of Big 5 is OCEAN, OCEAN. It is abbreviation is OCEAN. If you want to remember the Big 5, the abbreviation of the first word is OCEAN. A set of fundamental traits that are especially relevant to organizations. It is very useful for organization because those traits are the traits that you can find easily in your organization, in your coworkers, in your employees. in the different level of management, in the different level of decision makings, what type of personality is good for being a decision maker in an organization or not, what type of personality is good, for example, for coordinator, for analyzers, for supporters, for uh, boss, for managers, for dominant people, and other parts. We have ocean, O for openness to experience, C for conscientiousness, A for agreeableness, and N for neuroticism. It is ocean. XE for extraversion and A for ag. What is openness to experiences? It is a very good and positive trait in one person that can use in his or her daily life, also in his or her daily organizational life, job life, as a manager, as a co-worker, or other situation or position that anybody can have in an organization. Openness to experience is the capacity to entertain new ideas and to change as a result of new information. So we have two keywords. The first keyword in openness to experience is new. New ideas, new information. And the second part is change. If you are acceptable the new ideas and you can change yourself or your environment based on the new information, it is openness to experience. So you are not open to experience when you only accept the new ideas. It is not openness to experience because it is not experience. It is openness to new idea, openness to new knowledge, openness to new information. When you say changing and learning, they are related, interrelated together. We have talked about the learning in a lot of times. Learning is the process of relatively fixed changes in behavior, action, and feeling because of experience or rehearsal. These are the main components of learning. Learning has these components: one, change; two, experience or rehearsal; three, relatively consistent, relatively persistent. If you experience something and you don't have any type of change, it is not learning. If you have a lot of changing without any experience or rehearsal, also it is not learning. For example, menstruation in ladies between the age of 15 to 50, it is a relatively consistent change, yes, but it is not related to the experience or learning. You don't learn to have a monthly regular, for example, menstruation. It is not related to your rehearsal or related to your experience. It is your natural in the ladies from 15 to 50. Okay. So we have three components in learning: change, rehearsal or experiments, and relatively consistent or persistent. Because of that, in openness to experience, we have two keywords: one, new; two, change. Altogether, it is called openness to experience. Openness to experience. When you are talking about experience, you are talking about change. When you can say, yes, I am changing. Yes, I am learning. Yes, I am experiencing. When you experience all of them at the same time, at first, experiencing or rehearsal, after that, changing, and after that, repeat and repeat and repeat the change, relatively consistent change, and finally you can say, yes, I have learned a lot of things. Except of that, it is not about learning, it is about training, it is about educating, it is about knowledge. Very good, but it is not about change. Change is about persistency. We will talk about the change management in this course, also about very vast in other courses. So it is called change management. But change is about persistency and it's about learning. Second part is conscientiousness, the ability to be counted on the get things done. The keyword is done and to be counted. Next part is agreeableness. I am talking about in order of ocean: openness, conscientiousness, agreeableness, extraversion, agreeableness, and finally neuroticism. The abbreviation is OCEAN. So extraversion, we have introversion and extraversion. Introversion, someone who looks and it is very important for him or her, his or her inner parts and inner words. It is not schizoid and asocial. Introverted is not asocial. What is the relationship between to be an introverted or to be asocial? Or asocial is something else. Introverted is very easy to work on himself or herself in inner parts. Comfort level with relationship. In other parts is extraversion. Comfort level with relationships. He or she loves a lot of relationships when you are extroverted. And after that, agreeableness, the ability to get along with others, it is good. And finally, neuroticism, which is always, always, always a negative feature, experiencing anger, anxiety, moodiness, insecurity. Anger, anxiety, moodiness, and insecurity. It is neuroticism. These are together are called OCEAN: openness, consciousness, extraversion, agreeableness, and neuroticism. These are the big 5 personality factors you see in the spectrum. For example, openness to experience, at the minimum, it is less openness, at the maximum is more openness. For extraversion, it is introversion and extraversion. And neuroticism, more neurotic and less neurotic. Please pay attention. Please note to the direction of the spectrums. For example, when you are less openness to experience, you are more neurotic, and vice versa. When you are more neurotic, you are less openness. You are not so courage to experience the new, things or new idea and change your life. The low agreeableness is very, very correlated with the more neurotic or with introversion. So please pay attention. The more and the less are not always at the same direction in different 5 spectrums that you can see just now in this slide. Some parts in one factor, in one trait is less. The second part and the third part and the fourth part and the fifth part in other traits, for example, maybe in maximum rate, in more. So when you have less openness to experience, it is your less conscientiousness, and you are introverted, and you have a low agreeableness with other people, and finally you are more neurotic. You have a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress. When you have a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety, you feel a lot of insecurities or moodiness, you are not so good for openness to experience. You are so introverted, always talking with yourself, that you don't love any relationship with others because you are always so angry or so anxious. And finally, your consciousness is low. You are not so have ethics in your jobs. Consciousness related to your ethics, to your social ethics, that how fair you act with other people, you perform in your job, in your social situation. It is about your consciousness. Are you so fair? Do you love the things for yourself, also for other people? And vice versa, do you love something for other people you also love for yourself, or no? You want to always be in a winner-loser game, and you want to always be a winner, not a loser. It is not fair. Competition is not, basically, scientifically, competition is never fair, because the result of the competition is the result of the fight. The result of the fight is winner or loser. If you want to change the competition to a fair game, you can have 2 alternatives. 1, change your competition to compromises to change your competition to collaboration. Compromise is something that you want. Compromises means something you want losing in a fair way. If your competitor has a losing, you want to lose at the same range. Not always you win and other people win, or other people lose and you are always winning. In collaboration is very good. You want to have a win-win game. It's very good. But competition, okay. In competition, sorry, what a good competitor you are, that you don't want to win your game. It is the nature of the game. It is the nature of the game, sorry. It is the nature of your game that you want to win when you are a competitor. Personality and organization. MBTI, Myers-Briggs framework, MBTI, after, no, not after, now it is the most famous, most applicable inquiry test framework, conceptual framework for working with people in organizations. Differentiation acts are four general dimensions. For general dimension, not for general trait. Extroversion, E versus introversion. It is very important for all aspects of personality analysis. One of the first items we should consider that he or she is introverted or extroverted. It is very important. For all aspects of personality, you desire to analysis, to have a good analysis on that. At first is extroversion or introversion. It's very important. It shows that how much you are social, how much you are anti-social, how much you are asocial. Second part, sensing versus intuition. It is N. S1 N. Thinking versus feeling. And judging versus perceiving. These are the four general dimensions of Myers-Briggs. That, for example, people say, I am ISFJ. When say, it is very regular in companies, in the organization now, between the managers. Say, what is your personality profile? They say, for example, I am INFP. I am introverted, so intuitive, so emotional based, I'm so perceiving. It is a bad manager, bad. The worst case for managing, especially in a higher ranking of management, is, for example, INFP. He or she doesn't think at all. Very kind people, very good people, very good citizen, not good manager. This is something else. When you are so introverted, such a manager you are that you don't want to have a good relationship with other people. You are intuitive, no sensing. You don't think at all. You're always feeling, yes, you are a very good boyfriend or girlfriend. You are a good parent. You're a kind citizen, but you are not a good manager. Management is something else. We need specific features in people. Management is not about knowledge. Management is about knowledge-based personality. So a lot of people go to the University of Management, courses of management. But very lower, very lower amount of them will be a good manager in the future. Because at first you need, especially when you want to be a leader, leadership is something else, something completely something else different from management. Leadership is completely, yes, I teach leadership in the university. I know. We have different styles of leadership, different styles of thinking, but basically it is related to your personality. You should have or create. We can create the leadership style in yourself. Yes, why not? But it's a hard work. It needs knowledge and practice and practice and practice. People say, I am ISFJ. ISFJ, it is I am introverted. and I'm so sensing, not intuitive. And but I am feeling. I don't think so good. But based upon my feeling, for example, I have a good judgment. It's a different, and it's a test. And after taking the test, they will give you a profile about your personality combination of these features. And after that, at first, you will have a label on your personality. 16 personality classification result from the higher and lower positions of the general dimensions. Myers-Briggs Type Indicator, or MBTI. Please read about this test very carefully. It is very important for me to know the details of MBTI. It is very important. One of the core concepts in your course is MBTI. It's a popular questionnaire used to assess personality types. Also, sometimes we can use the MBTI, for example, for therapeutic usages or for premarital counseling and other parts. But its popularity is for organizational job matching, communication styles, and interaction preferences. You see, other personality traits at work are locus of control, authoritarianism, Machiavellianism, tolerance for risk or risk propensity, tolerance for ambiguity or uh, uncertainty tolerance, general self-efficacy, and self-esteem. Locus of control is one of the basic parts that you should know about the future of your job. Okay, before entering this part, have a 15 minutes, yes, break. And after that, in 11:30, I am here again to continue the session. Okay, welcome again to this session of the week 2 of ORG 4451. Other personality traits at work: locus of control, authoritarianism, Machiavellianism, tolerance for risk or risk propensity, tolerance for ambiguity or ambiguity tolerance or uncertainty tolerance, and general self-efficacy and self-esteem. Do you have any idea about the phrase locus of control? Locus of control. Locus of control is the center of control. How do you think about the influencing factors that can control your success in life, your emotions in life, your thoughts in life, your actions in life? How do you think about the controlling factors? This is the locus of control, the extent to which a person believes her or his or her circumstances are a function of either her or his own actions or of external factors beyond his or her control. It is locus of control. For example, if you think everywhere and whenever somebody has a bad behavior to you, it is not up to you to react in a good manner. You are not proactive, you are reactive. Proactive is meant you have trained yourself before confronting with the situation. It is proactive. You are prepared for some types of reactions. It is proactive. Reactive, it is meant you are not prepared. You react based on the other people's action. It's catastrophizing. It is very, very dangerous to be reactive because other people traits, other people behaviors, other people actions will determine how you should respond to them. And this responsive behavior, it doesn't have any responsibility. Why? Because you don't know anything about your proper or congruent action or congruent feeling or congruent thinking in responding to other people. It is reactive. It is out of control. It is not thoughtful. But proactive is meant you have trained, you have thought before confronting with other people's behavior that in that assumed situation, what should I do, which is efficient for me, which is effective for me. It is proactive. Locus of control, it is very important. If you think that your destiny is related to your history, and your history is not related to you, it is related to your society, your childhood duration, your family, and your religion, your culture, your ethnicity, your race, and other parts that you don't have any control on them, or you have a very little control on them. So when you think that your destiny is related to your history or other things, other factors which are not on your control, they are external parts of your life, it is external locus of control. You will feel with a high rate of frustration, depression, hopelessness, and helplessness. You will experience a lot of these. Why? Because you think, I am not the queen and king of my life. I am not my destiny maker. My destiny is on the other hand, on the hands of other people or conditions or my society. Also, we are social people. Why not? Because controlling and determining the destiny, determining your goals, determining your ability, determining your strengths is something different with full complete in your society, full complete in the hand of your father or mother, full complete in the hand of your culture or religion or race or ethnicity. In the other hand, when you think, yes, it is hard, I know. but I can change myself. I can determine my destiny. It is hard. It is only hard, not impossible. It is only hard, not impossible. Who has said it is impossible? Some weak people, some people that they don't know that they have a lot of energy, their ability to change their life. They are hopeless and they are helpless. When you think that, yes, a large amount of my destiny, a large amount of my uh, productions in life, mental productions, physical productions, a lot of things. It is in my hand. Your locus of control is internal. When the locus of control is internal, you think that you believe that you are, your functions is in your hand. You have a lot of happiness, a lot of energy, vitality, courage, persistency, honesty, zest, and other things that you need to go forward, to go through your goals. Because of that, one of the greatest personality traits that you should know about yourself or about your coworkers, about your managers, or about yourself as a future manager is that how do I believe about my destiny? How do I believe about my decisions? How do I believe about my success in life? Or vice versa, about my history, about my weaknesses in life, about my failures in life, desired outcome or undesired outcome. It is locus of control. The second trait is authoritarianism. They believe that power and status differences are appropriate within hierarchical social systems such as organizations. It is about the authoritarianism. They believe that power and status differences are appropriate within hierarchical social systems such as organization. It is very important that what ranking of authority, what ranking, what level of power you consider for yourself as an individual, for yourself as an employee, for yourself as a co-worker, for yourself as a mid-level manager, and for yourself as a high-level manager. It is very important what is the position you are looking for and you are considering for yourself. You are looking for yourself in the future, you are considering for yourself in the present moment. Machiavellianism, uh, Machiavel was an not ancient, was one of the basic philosophers talked and write a very, very important book. I cannot say it is positive or negative because in a lot of in many parts of the world when you say Machiavellianism they said yes you are so selfish you that you only think about your future, about your success, about your money, about your social credit, about your for example health status and other things. Machiavellianism is about the government and how to govern a country, how to govern a world based upon the only the goals, not the means. It is eligible to use every aspect of means to achieve your goals. Also, honestly, it is not so accurate about the Machiavelli. You can see, you can write, you can read the book. It is Prince. The Prince is the book written by Machiavelli. And behavior dictated at gaining power and control of others. That you see that here again. We have a very rigid and very rough and sometimes tough definition of Machiavellism, behavior directed at gaining power and control of others. It is the philosophy of control. It is the philosophy of power. In philosophers, we have two philosophers that they are also, I don't think that it is so fair about them, but they are very famous about the power. And many people think that they are not positive. Honestly, I don't want to think, I don't want to talk about the Machiavelli because Machiavelli is something different. But about Nietzsche, Nietzsche is the second philosopher that has talked about about the philosophy of power. Even one of his books is titled "So Will to Power. It is a very famous book of Nietzsche. Nietzsche is a German, yes, it's a German philosopher and great author. He has many books in the basic of thoughts and ideas of 20th century. We have three people that everybody has talked anything else out of them is for them or against them. One of them is Nietzsche. In philosophy, everything after Nietzsche, everybody has talked after Nietzsche. In philosophy, has something against Nietzsche or for Nietzsche. In acceptance of Nietzsche, Nietzsche's ideas, or in rejecting Nietzsche's idea. So one of the greatest books written by Nietzsche is Will to Power. It's about the philosophy of power. It's fantastic. It's highly recommended to read Nietzsche's book if you want to be a leader, especially if you want to be a leader in your organization. And why not? Two ladies are now here in this session. And why not after 20 years? I see one of them, Erica or Joy, for example, I don't know, as a senator. Why not? I don't know why not. Can we consider this assumption? But because of reaching that point, you should know something different from other people. Knowledge is everywhere. Don't worry about the knowledge. With internet, knowledge is always. And it is a poor function to only know the knowledge. You should know how to use the knowledge, how analyzes the knowledge. It is valuable for a human being. It is not about, for example, 200 years ago. 200 years ago, if you read a lot of book, only knowing the knowledge was valuable. Right? Oh, she or he has read a lot of books and he or she knows everything. This is not valuable in this time, in this age. Why? Because we have internet, every type of knowledge. We have a phrase here in computer science, in IT, in business. It is called data pollution. Data pollution is the pollution of data in internet. We have data pollution, wrong pollution or right pollution, false pollution or true pollution. Right data or wrong data, false data or true data. It is data pollution. So it is not valuable only to know the data. It is valuable to use the data to be applicable in a situation like organizations or something more than that, to use the data for creating change. In the next 20 years, even the game changer people will be at the head of the organization. Only game changers, ordinary managers, ordinary leaders, they are not at the top. If you want to be at the top, you should have done something changing in the world, in your organization. And it begins with your lifestyle. If you cannot change yourself, say goodbye to change management. It's a very deep, old, and very, very, very true rule in changing. If you want to be a good changer, if you want to be a life changer, if you want to be a game changer in politics, in economic, in organization, in industry, in every aspect of your life to want to create change, basically you should be changer in yourself. Because of that, every type of management is self-management. Every type of coaching is self-coaching. Every type of leadership is self-leadership. Even in psychotherapy and hypnosis, we say every type of hypnosis is self-hypnosis. Honestly, it is self-hypnosis. I, as a hypnotherapist, only help you to facilitate your self-hypnosis. I don't do anything for you. I only help you facilitate your self-hypnosis. Because of that, please read the valuable books, think about the books, and bring them to your daily life. With that, you can be a different people in the world. And tolerance for risk, the degree to which a person is willing to take chances and make risky decisions. Also risky when we are talking about the tolerance to risk. I don't know, is there any title in your course, an MBA? I think you have such thing in MBA. It is called course title is Operational Research. Operational Research and Engineering Economy are two titles that you will find the course of risk study in the content of that course. Risk study and risk ability. It is very important. So risk is a part of game theory. Game theory talk about the different elements that you can find in a game and how to manage the risk in your game. Because of that, you think that game theory, risk study, and assessment about the risks in your life, in your organization, in your leadership is very important. If you don't want to take any risks, you will be dead. Honestly, you will be dead. Why? Because the greatest unassessed, unevaluated risk in life is not to have any risk, not to take any risk. It is the greatest risk. It is the greatest or most foolish risk you can take in your life. That I don't want to take any risk. Goodbye to life. Why? Because the nature of living, living in nature, the intrinsic part of living for all beings, not only for human beings, for all beings, is a part of risk taking. So you should know that about the risk taking, how to study your risk, how to accept your risk, how to manage your risk, and finally, if you will not receive, if you will not gain your desirable outcome, okay, accept the cost of the risk. Why not? Every great success in your life begins, with your great failures. It is unavoidable. You cannot avoid of this rule. If you want to avoid this rule, you are avoid from yourself, from self-development, and at the maximum rate, you are avoiding your success. Every successful woman or man will talk to you that, yes, just now we have a lot of failures. It is because of that we call it trial and error, final trial without error. Perfect. Before that, there we have a lot of trial and error. And tolerance for ambiguity is very famous concept in all aspects of human beings. For example, my master degree was in the subject of ambiguity tolerance in pain. I look for that if you have a lower rate of tolerance, ambiguity tolerance in your mind, and you don't know about the sources, about the causes of your pain, can you perceive and experience more pain or not? And it shows yes. When you have, for example, a pain in your elbow, okay, go to the physician and they will take you some painkiller, and you ask them, sorry, doctor, what's the problem of my pain? And they said, okay, go to have, for example, X-ray or MRI from your elbow. And after coming back to doctor and show the result to doctor, and doctor said, so it doesn't show anything important as a cause of your pain in your elbow. But I don't know what's the cause of the pain in your elbow. But you are experiencing pain yet. After that, based upon my research, after that, you will have some attentional bias to your pain situation, for example, to your, and after that, you will experience and you will perceive some more pain in your body. Why? Because you don't have any good ambiguity tolerance, did ambiguous position, like don't know anything about the causes of your pain in the elbow, will increase your pain perception, your pain attention, or fear of movement. Because of that, we have a lot of extra problems, for example, like fear of movement. It is something like organization, something like other parts of personality even. Why? Because if you are brave heart, go forward, and yes, I don't know what will be happen in the future. Yes, I don't know. It's not certain, not for me, not for anybody. I can have some prediction, and based on my prediction, I will have some prevention. It's good. Why not? But we have a range of uncertainty. With the game theory, with the risk study, and other parts, we can have some prediction and prevention, but these are not certain. If you cannot tolerate that part of uncertainty, you will be anxious, you will be unconcentrated on the goals and other things, and after that, you will experience a lot of pain, suffering, distress, failure, and other bad and negative emotions. General self-efficacy. I told you that we have some different parts of self. It is about the self-esteem, about the self-confidence, and self-concept. Self-efficacy. These three elements together are our self-concept. Self-concept plus our body image will shape our self-image. So self-efficacy is one of the three basic components of organizing and shaping ourselves, together with self-esteem and self-confidence. Self-efficacy is the phrase coined by Albert Bandura in Stanford and also in British Columbia, BCU, in Canada. Uh, at first, he coined this phrase, self-efficacy, and it is very useful. It is very useful in social psychology, organizational psychology, and other parts. Self-efficacy. Self-efficacy, in contrast with self-confidence and self-esteem, self-esteem talks about your values in your life. I am valuable without any attention, regardless of my social position, my successful position in our society or in our family. Except of all of them, without all of them, how valuable I am in the world. It is your self-esteem. And after that, how able, how powerful I am in my life. It is about your self-confidence and how successful. It is related to the locus of control. How successful I can be in the world without other features. Because of that, self-efficacy is very important. Confidence in one's ability to be successful. The key word for self-esteem is value. The key word for self-confidence is power. And the key word for self-efficacy is success. And finally, self-esteem, feeling of self-worth and liking or disliking oneself. Any question? Okay. Type A and type B is related to the researches done by cardiologists, not by psychologists, not by managers, not by leaders. Some cardiologists, physicians of heart and vessels, some years ago, they saw that some type of personality will be at the higher risk of heart problems. Is the problem personality? Is the problem of heart? No, it is an interactive feature and traits. So type A personality and type B personality. Type A, it is a managerial, successful managers with a bad ending, very early dying, and a lot of hopelessness and helplessness at the end of the way, not at the first of the A. They are impatient. Always type A personality has a sense of they send time urgency. Time urgency is mean that I don't have I don't have enough time for doing something I want in my life. Impatiency, type A personality. Competitive. They always want to be loser, to be winner. They cannot accept losing. Because of that, their collaboration is lower than their competition. Their competition is so high. Well, collaboration is very hard for type A personality. Um, They are very dominance seeking. They are dominant people. They want always to be at the higher, at the single, very unique higher position. They are dominant personality. Ambiguous and uptight. These are the major features of type A personality. The rate of and the statistic of type A personality is not so high. It's rarely, yes. But the people that create the changes in the world, but not for themselves, because always they are not so happy, they are not so easy people. They are always in a high rate of suffering from the situation, circumstances, and other parts of their job, of their world, of their life. Ordinary people are always in type B personality, more relaxed and easygoing, less competitive than type A, handles stress less frantically. Stress management is one of the greatest 10 life skills that WHO, World Health Organization, says everybody should know about the management and about the skills for handling and manage their lives. These are called life skills. Life skills are 10 skills uh, determined by WHO for everybody. It is something, for example, you come to the work after some years, we should say you that, okay, that's good, perfect. Why not? It is life skills. And bullying personality, it is not related to type A or type B. Bullying personality comes from the working class behaviors, not working class socially, working class thinking, mindset. When you are talking now in 21st century, because we are not racist, we are not a very ethnical bias or discrimination or race discrimination, it is not acceptable in any developing civilization, developing country, for example, like America. Also, you see that in the street, you can see other things with a lot of discrimination sometimes. With a lot of movement also. Black Lives Matter, why not? It's a social movement, good for going forward, for going to the idealistic world of equality and brotherhood. Why not? But now, even in 21st century, you see a lot of bullying behaviors in schools between different races and different ethnicities, with minorities, majorities, and other parts. So mistreats other employees through verbal abuse, threats, humiliation, intimidation, or sabotage stems from abuse of power and desire to control others, related to Machiavellianism. Also, this your book said that it is about Machiavellianism. It is bullying personality. You see here type A and type B. And the second part, after personality traits, you should consider in your company, your organization, it is intelligence. At first, intelligence is a general mental ability. Pay attention. We have different types of intelligence. The capacity to rapidly and fluidly acquire, process, and apply information. Acquire, process, and apply information. Three parts. Many people think that intelligence is only about acquiring information because they don't have any practical intelligence, any job intelligence, any love intelligence, any emotional intelligence, any social intelligence. They think only about the educational intelligence. Educational intelligence is called IQ, intelligence quotient. Now we have a lot of different and important, more important types of intelligence in our society, in our knowledge. The most important of them is EQ, emotional quotient, or social intelligence, EI. Now we have SQ. SQ is spiritual quotient. It's very important. These are questions. These are the portion, the share, the percentage of the abilities you can have to enter that field of intelligence. So as a general mental ability, the capacity to rapidly and fluidly, rapid and fluid, not rapid, but very, 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 for example, ambiguous. The fluidly acquire, process, and apply information. Information process capacity is other meaning of intelligence, the manner in which individual process and organize information. So you can see the emphasis is on the information. Affect task learning, performance, and ability to process and organize information efficiently. Very good. Now we are something more than academic learning. Yes, task learning is a learning process, I know, but it is not about academic learning, task learning for organizations. And positively affected by general mental ability, which is the subcategorization of the first definition. Gardner theory of multiple intelligence is one of the most famous theories about the intelligence. Different intelligence. It is 7 intelligence. Please pay attention to this model of intelligence. It can be so useful for you as an individual, as a mother, as a father, especially as a manager or leader. We have 7 types of intelligence: linguistic intelligence, logical, mathematical intelligence, musical intelligence, bodily kinesthetic intelligence, spatial visual intelligence, interpersonal intelligence, and intrapersonal intelligence. Linguistic intelligence is about your ability to understand rapidly and fluently the words and language. It's very important. 2, logical mathematical intelligence. Your ability to understand rapidly and fluidly logical numbers. Musical, music, rhythm, and sound. Bodily kinesthetic, body movement and control. Spatial, visual, imaging, and space. Interpersonal, other people's feeling. Intrapersonal, self-awareness. So, I have some question about the jobs or social positions or personal goals in your life for different types of intelligence. If you have a linguistic intelligence, what types of actions, what types of jobs can you offer for yourself or for other people with high linguistic intelligence? The person who can use rapidly and fluently the words and language. The first job is that when someone can use words and language so rapidly and fluid, the first job can be for someone who has a good ability to use words and language. The first job you propose to him or her is lecturer, author, writer, literature instructor. Why? Because those are about words and language. Multi-language profession, translator. Second part, when someone has a good intelligence in logical and mathematical intelligence, what jobs do you propose to this person with a high ability of logic and numbers? First, what is the main core of the logic and numbers for jobs? First,
Like accounting?
accounting, perfect. Second, about the logic and numbers.
Like math professor.
Yes, yes, yes. Other things? Yes. math teacher, accounting, engineering, even philosophy. It's about logic. A lot of types of philosophers are related to logic. Musical, music, rhythm, sound. Okay. Musicians, audiotropist, it is about tropy. Art tropist is a music. And audition engineers, people go to the concert before beginning the concert to arrange the audition for the singer and other instruments that are played in the concert. Bodily kinesthetic, it is very important, very, very important. What type of jobs or professions do you offer for people with bodily and kinesthetic intelligence? One,
Like a physical therapist?
physical therapist, more important and more and clear than physical therapist.
Doctor? No.
Erica,
I was gonna say a doctor too.
at first dancing.
No.
The major part of body movement and control, it is about dancing. As Shakira said, sense of body. One of the Shakira saying you hear sense of body. Sense of body is a body movement and control. Basketball player, it is about body movement. Gymnastic player, they have a very high rate of bodily kinesthetic intelligence. It is their intelligence. It is not about the knowledge. When you say physical therapist, yes, but physical therapist needs a good knowledge about the body movement, not the skills of body movement. But for example, if you want to be a good massage therapist, yes. Spatial visual, working for images and spaces. First one, combination of art and engineering is called, when you have a good knowledge of civil engineering and a good knowledge and skills of drawing, combination of civil engineering and, for example, painting and drawing techniques is called, which field of university is called? Architecture. Architecture is a combination of engineering and art. Not completely engineering, engineering comes to civil engineering. Not completely art. When it is completely art, it is called art. It is called painting or graphic. Combination of engineering and art is called architecture, spatial visual. And other parts, for example, if you want to sculpture maker, sculpture making needs spatial visual. Or even if you want to be a good painter, interior designer, it is very important. It is very, very important for an interior designer to have a good spatial visual intelligence. Interior designer, it is about the arrangement and location. What about the interpersonal intelligence?
Like a therapist?
Therapist, other parts? Your future jobs, managers, leaders, you should know about the interpersonal. After all of these huge amount of knowledge, you will find yourself as a core capacity, as a core competency. It is interpersonal. Very, very basic, very, very core, very core. And intrapersonal. What type of proficiency do you think that as an intrapersonal intelligence, if you have, you can offer yourself or other people? The major core competency is self-awareness. The spiritual gurus, philosophers. Do you know Paulo Coelho? Paulo Coelho is an Southern American, very, very famous Southern American author and seeker, spiritual seeker. Highly recommended to see the interview with Oprah Winfrey, Paulo Coelho and Oprah Winfrey in the YouTube. He has a good intelligence of self-awareness. not psychologists, but psychological theories, personality theories, people who have a good theory about the personality type of human beings, they have a good self-awareness because they said that a lot of our theory have come out from our personality. So Gardner's theory of multiple intelligence can help you analyze other people in different aspects of their intelligence with no rush, with no bias, very scientific base, very evidence based. And why not? It can help you choose the right persons for the right positions. Okay, now you have 15 minutes time for your weekly quiz. I am also here if you have any question. It is from the chapter 3 and chapter 4 PowerPoints. And after entering, you have 15 minutes time. Bye for now.